Guys, Stuart Charter here from SEO Cheat Guides. So today I wanted to hop on and just go through how to easily add more value to your local marketing services. What we're going to cover today is a review of high value niche, how you can easily add value without focusing only on traffic related issues. So we're not talking about SEO or PPC or Facebook ads. This is just more how you can add value to your existing clients today. So we're going to look at today specifically the window replacement niche. It's a high value niche. As you can see, typical window replacement is somewhere between $450 and $1,000 per double hung, double pane window. So $450 to $1,000 on an average house. I mean, I'm not suggesting this is an average house, but certainly it adds up quickly. And really what I want to show is that for a niche like this where a client could potentially be paying somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000 to get their windows changed with a profit margin of at least $1,500 to $6,000 per job that they land, conversions really matter. So it's not just about traffic, it's also about making sure that we do a good job of converting the traffic that lands on the page into paying clients for our customers. So what I did here is I hopped onto Google, looked for window replacement in Ottawa, and just took Capital Windows. They're on page one both for the map and for organic. So they're definitely doing SEO. Just for those of you that don't know, Ottawa probably has a population of about 1.2 or 1.5 million people. So fairly competitive city. Certainly there's no way they're ranking without doing SEO. And so this is a pretty typical site, so I just wanted to kind of walk through and look at what they're doing on the page and see how they could really improve what they're doing. So as you'll see, you have your CTA one, which is like your call to action. They're giving out their email address. The second one is the phone number. Third one is schedule yours today for a free estimate. Number 4, again, is book your in-home estimate. And then they have a headline. So this is above the fold. This is kind of what you see when you land on the page. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 calls to action, all revolving around somebody ready to buy today. So that's really what I want to point out there. Then as you scroll down, you get their headline, and then you get a couple of more calls to action if you want to click the button to find a new door today or find a new window today. They also have one offer, and this is a discounted or kind of, I guess it's trying to say that you can get windows for $10 a month, presumably over a long period of time. Again, this is, scarcity, I guess, and or some kind of promotion that they're trying to run. Then you got a couple of read more for more information. So again, I would say this is pretty typical of local business websites. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's certainly ranking. And they're certainly spending a fair amount of money on search engine optimization. As you scroll down, you're going to get to their footer. Again, they have home stars, so that review us. They're part of the Better Business Bureau. They have, a free estimate form where you can pick whether you want windows, doors, patio doors. Pretty typical stuff, and you can see that they're using a company by the name of Marketing Blends. Nothing out of the ordinary. I looked at quite a few sites, and this seems to be pretty typical in the window replacement industry. So if this company is paying for SEO, we know they're on page 1 organically, we know they're on maps, and they're ranking for their money keyword, which is window replacement Ottawa. So how hard would it be to add more value, right? So let's just look at some numbers here. We've got an average home has 15 windows. And let's just say it's $400 to $1,000 per window to replace. That means your average job is somewhere between 6 and 15K, and your average profit at about 20% profit margin, which is pretty typical in the trades business, is 1.2 to 3K. Now, just to note, this is average based on probably a 1,200 square foot house. I know for my house, I got a quote of close to $30,000 for window replacement, so they're going to make $6,000. Off installing windows at our house. But, just for average sake, I wanted to kind of give you a ballpark so that you can start to think about how much value you would be driving by focusing on conversions. Even a site that is doing well in terms of driving traffic, the SEO is doing its job or her job as they're ranking number one, there's a lot of opportunity on this page to convert people a lot better. So number one thing that I noticed is they don't have anything talking to people in the research phase of the buying decision. Every one of their calls to action, so they had 4 calls to action above the fold, all 4 of them were related to people that were ready to buy today. So what you want to introduce to clients is definitely the lead magnet concept that Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher over at Digital Marketer kind of made famous, I guess, is just something that's going to speak to them. And truthfully, I don't even think this one is great. I looked around probably for about 20 minutes trying to find decent lead magnets in this industry, and they really just don't exist, which is mind-blowing to me. Someone's going to spend $25,000 on window replacements. They're not just going to Google, putting in window replacements, and then saying, oh, this is the company that shows up number one, I'm going to use these guys. So really, using a lead magnet allows you to frame the buying decision, right? I mean, this is something Chet Holmes introduced in the Ultimate Sales Machine, and really, you want to have this because if you are able to frame how your prospect makes their buying decision, i.e. like what's important to consider, you can really slant it in favor of your client. Not to mention you're also, capturing an email address before you send it out to them, which brings us into our next slide. So once you help them with their lead magnet, you can help them set up an autoresponder. Most local businesses, again, they don't follow the digital marketing space. They're not as in tune with how autoresponders work, with how lead magnets work. They're really dependent on us for us to do this for them. And the great thing about it is none of this is like SEO. It's all pretty much, once you know how to do it, you can systematize it, you can hand it off to VAs. Once you've done it for one person in the niche, doing it for another person in the niche just becomes super easy. All right, so continuing on, the next thing I would look at is testimonials. So, what are your customers saying? So here's an example from a company I found. They have both video testimonials, which look really, really sharp, and then they've tied in home stars, and in fact, I think they also had Facebook, kind of images of people that had talked on Facebook. The social proof in this is great. I mean, again, if you're going to spend somewhere between $6,000, $10,000, $20,000 on window replacements, you really want to feel comfortable that the company you're dealing with is reputable, and testimonials and social proof really just push that over. Another thing I would look at doing in this niche specifically, I've done it for the kitchen renovation industry, it works great on a number of fronts, is time-lapse video. You put your banner, your client's banner on the back of their sweaters, and really, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, show them what's gonna happen. It allows them to envision your company or your client's company, I guess, doing the work at their house, and it really gives them a good idea of what's happening. On an SEO perspective as well, it increases the time on site. People really watch these, surprisingly. If you make like a 3 or 4 minute video, I think we had a 5-minute video of a whole kitchen being renovated in time lapse, and it's amazing. It just dramatically increased the amount of time people spent on the site. So it's definitely worth looking at, specifically in an industry like this where the value of each customer is so high. This is really what's going to differentiate you. And then last, retargeting pixel. With a high value niche like this where each client is worth at least $1,200 in profit, you should be installing the pixel on every page. If you want my free step-by-step guide on how to set up a Facebook pixel for your clients, you can download it here. I'll put a link below or above the video as well, but you can see it here if you want to click over to it and download it. It's free, and it'll walk you through step-by-step how to set it up. So, how to add more value to window replacement niche specifically, this is just a summary. I'd have the calls to action for buy now. I'm not suggesting that we take those off, but I'd also definitely have 1 or 2 calls to action for the research phase. That generally would be either a lead magnet or a survey that I would want to have people take. And that converts visitors into prospects, which leads into you setting up an autoresponder. I would make sure I have retargeting on every page. I may break it into buckets, targeting people in the research phase differently than I would be targeting people who showed some buyer intent. I would add a time-lapse video for sure to this niche, and I would always have testimonials on the homepage to make sure that the social proof is there. So anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you guys are having a good week. if you like this, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'll see you in the next video.